What's going on YouTube, James here. Welcome back to James Talks Movies, where today I am going to be talking about two movies that are out on Netflix originals. One came out just a few days ago on as I'm recording this, and another one came out in 2020, and those films are the Enola Holmes movies, Enola Holmes 1 and Enola Holmes 2. These movies are about a detective, Enola Holmes, which if the last name's Holmes sounds familiar, it's because it's the story of Sherlock Holmes' sister and how her kind of adventures of learning about life. It's his younger sister, so it's about her going on all sorts of adventures and detective stuff like that. And yes, I'm going to be talking about both of those movies in this review. So yes, guys, let's see what I think of Enola Holmes 1 and 2. So yes, guys, Harry Bradbeer is the director of both of these movies, and I just get into my first positives of this the first movie I'm gonna start with, because I think that the first one's my favorite, and I'm gonna get more obviously into it as we go along here. Why it's my favorite. But just to tell you what I like about the first one first, is I just feel like it's really fun. I think that it did a really good job of establishing Enola as a character, and understanding that she hasn't done any detective work before the events that happen in this movie, and so, it does a really good job of, having a really fun, detective story, with, bright and beautiful, backgrounds and, kind of the cinematography. It's nothing outstanding than of, any other not the best cinematography, ever, but, it does a really good job of at least showing the places and locations that they're in without going too big in scale. So I think the movie looks very nice at that on that aspect. It's also very aesthetically pleasing because of that reason and the time period. I don't know exactly when these movies are set. I know they're not set in modern times. They might be, but I don't think so. It definitely brings you back to another time period, with the costumes and the kind of the look of the film as well. So I really enjoyed that. But back to Enola Holmes, I feel like herself. I feel like Enola Holmes, the movie does a really good job of, like I said, establishing that she is a new detective, and kind of shows the advice that her mother has gave her throughout the movie through flashbacks. The plot of the first movie is her mother goes missing for a reason, and that I won't spoil. and she has to find her. So I feel like that mother-daughter relationships of her missing her mother, but also having to stay strong and kind of having to remember in the past of what her mother has taught her. Um, like life advice and stuff to go on this adventure. So I really like that aspect of this movie. It also has serves as being really fun. I feel like that brings a lot of fun to the movie, as well as a character played by Louis Partridge, Twix Berry, and he's a kind of person that's on the run from this evil person that I won't also spoil who that is because that's part of the fun. And she finds him on this adventure on the run, and they kind of they have a really good friendship. So he serves, Twixberry serves as a very good accomplice and friend and kind of a side character in this movie that also serves as brings a lot of the heart and emotion to this movie at times. And also I feel like just to get a couple of my negatives out of the way, I feel like some of the aspects of this movie are kind of rushed. Especially at the beginning, you kind of worry that they're setting up this movie kind of fast and then they're going to forget about it, obviously, throughout the film. So then they could get to more of the more of the detective stuff and more of the other fun stuff that you get in this movie and not anything that really brings the heart of this movie, which is what they usually set up at the beginning of the movie. So, but luckily I think because they have lots of flashback scenes, the stuff that, in this movie that requires a lot of background, flashback scenes. So going back to those, kind of telling a lot of the story in that way, and kind of going back to the flashbacks of her mother, and which is the heart of the story, and kind of going back and learning what she taught her, and her having to kind of imply that into what she's doing in the movie. So I feel like the heart is never lost because there's so much story to tell, and kind of like lines of dialogue and interesting stuff that they have to keep you engaged throughout the whole movie, which I really enjoy. I don't think the problem with less story is a problem with Enola Holmes 1. However, Enola Holmes 2, I don't like this movie. I don't hate this movie. Sorry, I don't hate this movie. I just feel like just in Enola Holmes 2, I feel like the cast all around does a really good job in both of these movies, especially Millie Bobby Brown, who I think in the first movie has a lot more stuff to do in this movie, a lot more emotion, and a lot more things to show up off her acting chops, which makes it a lot more entertaining. The first movie definitely shows how good of an actor she is, as well as all the supporting cast. Obviously, they do a really good job. But Millie Bobby Brown is really hard at this movie. Just gotta throw that out there because I feel like in this second movie, Millie Bobby Brown still does a really good job. But I feel like she is kind of put to the side, kind of in her own movie, and it kind of gives more screen time to Sherlock Holmes and his like assistants and all of that, which is kind of or hard to kind of balance because it is Enola Holmes movie. After all, it's called Enola Holmes 2. So I just feel like the tone of the second movie is kind of more dark and kind of more of a mystery Sherlock Holmes movie than a fun still a good mystery the first one had, but more of a fun good mystery movie like the first one was. And some might like that. I know some do like the darker kind of more eerie type mystery movies, and with that kind of darker tone and setting, if you know what I mean. So that just kind of throughout the whole movie didn't really sit well because I just feel like the tones were totally different throughout the whole throughout both of the movies. Millie Bobby Brown still kind of elevated it to not be exactly as those standalone Sherlock Holmes movies because of how fun she is. But I also feel like the mystery of the second movie is a little less developed. I feel like the standalone Sherlock Holmes movies were like 2.5 hours long or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm not really sure. But I think these are longer than any of the Enola Holmes movies, and I feel like they tried to do kind of that more developed storyline, like a more developed mystery storyline, but in they only have 2 hours and 10 minutes to do it in the second movie, and I feel like a couple a little more like 20 minutes or so more would have been just enough to kind of develop a little more story and character development that you have in that first movie, because I feel like the story in this second movie is just a little bit bigger, but it doesn't feel that way. They were trying to make it that way, I feel, but I don't think it kind of got executed that great. So yes, guys, I'm not a big Sherlock Holmes fan of the character itself, but if you are, you might like the second one fine. I just feel like that aspect of those aspects of the second movie kind of downgraded the film quite a bit. I also feel like Twixby in the second one and Enola Holmes, they kind of them together, which I also feel like made the film a little more interesting in the first one, and kind of had that fun aspect of the friendship between them and seeing it grow. There was less of that And when there was times of that, it was very rushed because what I didn't want to happen in the first one and it didn't happen in the second one, where they just wanted to get the plot point, um, uh, more fun stuff and more fun stuff without really fleshing out too much of anything. But it's still a fun-ish movie that I'll watch time to time, probably a background movie, if you know what I mean. So, yes, guys, that is what I think of Enola Holmes 1 and 2. Leave in the comment section down below your thoughts of the two movies, and also in the comment section down below, leave comments of movies, suggestions of movies you want me to review in the comments, so let me know, so then I can review movies you want me to do. It can be old movies or new movies. So leave in the comments down below with suggestions of movies, so then I can tell you if a movie is worth watching or not. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.